O, pierwsze kadry do Jagodnika. Machamy, machamy, pozdrawiamy. Wesoła wycieczka.
Witamy wszystkich czytelników Jagodnika. Znajdujemy się dzisiaj razem z producentami polskimi owoców jagodowych na Sri Lance, gdzie na zaproszenie Botanicoir zwiedzamy tą fabrykę. Zapytam teraz Kaluma, gdzie jesteśmy, czym się tu zajmuje i dlaczego ich produkty są tak unikatowe. Hello Kalum.
Hi Chris.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you and welcome to Sri Lanka.
Thank you so much for the invitation. Could you explain a little bit more about the Polish growers, where we are now, in which factory, what we are doing here, and why our substrates are so unique?
Sure. Yeah, first of all, again, thank you very much for coming to see us all the way from Poland. Yeah, I mean, where we are at the moment is one of our main mechanical drying units. As we discussed earlier, we were visiting on the other side where we do the all raw material processing and washing and buffering the coir in order to get rid of our, the high levels of potassium, sodium and chloride, and then rebuffer it with extra dose of calcium. And then we take them out and let it drain.
One question about buffering, because many Polish growers were thinking about making this in themselves, yeah, in Poland. What kind of water, what quality of water do you have here? Because in Poland we have PC around 0.6, which is not the best for making this process.
Good question, Chris. Again, here, I mean, one of our biggest resources, from raw material, and then the next resource is water. We have access to very good quality water here. The other water's conductivity is around 0.1. Max 0.15 in the drier months, because as you can see we have the river on the other side. Yeah, we have no problem during dry months for us to take any amount of water that we require. But having said that, we are very careful and we are cautious about the volume of water we use. So the water is a key ingredient. Yeah, so when we wash and buffer it in our washing bunkers and pits, you see in the way we, shower it, yeah, the keeps moving up and down. It's taking all these extra high levels of sodium, potassium completely out of the substrate. Whereas if you use the bag with unbuffered material and trying to buffer it using drippers, giving calcium and trying to flush it, that water will not, calcium will not go to each and every corner of the bag. So that makes it a little bit difficult and takes longer to buffer. Whereas here we do a full barium chloride analysis before we take the material out and dry here. So you can be sure it's EC is really low, high in calcium. Those elements are below the RHP levels, and so yeah, it's a peace of mind. So you know that your plants get the best start at the beginning.
Yeah. Generally, in every country, the producers of berries have headache with many things, yeah? Many things.
Absolutely.
Stress, yeah? So if we are able to remove just even one,
that's a massive support in many ways. Huh? So yeah, it is very important to make sure that you use the right substrate, which is properly buffered with calcium. Otherwise, once you plant into the bag and finding extra salts and high EC and trying to flush it throughout using the drippers, it makes the job a little bit difficult. And also having the roots constantly sitting in a wet substrate is not good. Yeah.
You use sentential good substrate. What does it mean? Because still many growers think that coir substrate is coir substrate. No difference between one and another.
Looking at the substrate again, yes. I mean, when you look at it, you can see this material. It's very granular. Yeah. And so now this material is actually ready to go into our production. But at that facility where we are going to go next, we're going to be sieving out all the finer dusty particle out. Yeah. Otherwise, what happens is if we make the grow bag with dusty particle, it will penetrate into the bottom of the bag, stop the drainage, and keeps the bag
Moisture
constantly
will be-
wet. Yeah.
Exactly. Which is not good
Because,
for
no, absolutely not.
especially for raspberries.
What you need is a free draining substrate where you can always give water and nutrients. But if it's too wet, you can't take it out.
This is Maurice.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Witamy Państwa ze Sri Lanki. Dzisiaj znajdujemy się w drugiej fabryce. O tym, co tutaj jest robione, jakie produkty są głównie wytwarzane, opowie nam właściciel firmy Kalum. Hello, Kalum again.
Hi, Chris.
We are today in the second your factory, yeah? Can you explain what product you do here?
Yes, again, this is our second biggest production facility, Chris, here in Sri Lanka. We are in the actually northern part of Sri Lanka. And here, again, we have access to abundance of coconut husks and the raw material. Hence why we set up this facility about 15 years ago. So here we process the husk and make these particles where you see, and then go through the similar sort of process as at the main site yesterday. And these are the drying yards, and we dry them in natural sunlight in this area, and then make the blends, the grow bags, and also some bulk products, and then ship it directly from this location to the port.
Okay, thank you so much for explanation. Tell me, because we hear sometimes that some people say that soon will be a lack of the coconut in the world for production substrate. Is that true? You see?
No, I don't think so, because at the moment, of course, Sri Lanka and India is leading the coconut substrate industry. When you just look at Sri Lanka is the fourth biggest coconut producer in the world, producing coconuts in 444,000 hectares. Then again, when you look over to the other side, our neighbor India, they have 6 times more production. They have 6 times. So they produce 18 billion coconuts, whereas Sri Lanka is only 3 billion coconuts per annum. So then you have Philippines, the second biggest producer, again around 18 to 19 billion coconuts. And then number 1 is Indonesia, close to around 20 billion nuts. So those 2 places are hardly producing any substrate at the moment. So in my opinion, there's plenty of raw material available, but it's the process that takes time and developing to make sure we take the...
Thinking to maybe establish a new factory in one of these countries?
Absolutely. I visited Philippines a few years back. Now, we are still in the process of, doing our groundwork and then looking for a suitable location. We identified the location, but we just need a good partner in that location to start our, process there. Yeah.
Thank you. And the last question, does the Poland, it's important market for you? What do you think? We started working together, I think, 8-9 years ago, yeah?
Absolutely.
You see that we developing, or?
Of course. I mean, we started with few containers a year, 8-9 years ago, and look where we are today. And, I think Poland is probably 4th or 5th biggest market for Botanicoir, So it's a very, very important market.
Very important.
And we can see a lot of growers are moving from soil to tabletops and substrate. So yeah, we are really excited and putting a lot of focus in the market too.
Great.
Of course, with yourselves. So
Thank you, Kalum. Dziękujemy bardzo Państwu. Po więcej informacji zapraszamy oczywiście do Jagodnika, a te pryzmy za nami już czekają tylko na transport do naszego kraju, aby posadzić w nich maliny, truskawki czy też warzywa.
thank you.
Thank you.